Okay, so we have another cute little project here. I think we're going to do a paint inlay on this one. This is going to be a tea box. So let me go through the parts with you because there's some optional items here. So let's put all those to the side. Okay. These parts here build our drawer, okay? I can't put the whole thing together for you. These are the shelves on the inside between the drawers. Like when I can't put it, I can't put it all together for you. I mean, like until it's put together. And I cut it out of something that already had some paint on it, and I didn't realize. This is also out of 1/8 inch. And I know you've heard me say I cannot get good 1/8 inch material, but I really felt like this needed to be out of 1/8 inch. It just would have been too bulky out of 1/4 inch. So this kit may have some imperfections, and the wood. Now I try to be very careful with what side goes, what side goes in and out, but you may have to do some sanding. Like there's some, you can't really see it, but there's just a little bit of slivering happening there. Okay, that's a side. This is a side. So you can kind of start to envision this. I'll just kind of put it together for you here so you can get a little bit of an idea. It's always good to dry fit your stuff anyhow. This is the back. Okay. So, and we actually are going to put this together. We're going to stain all the inside pieces, and then actually we might not stain them. Yes, we maybe will. Maybe I'll use my butcher block oil. Okay, so you kind of got the idea here, okay? You put your tea in here, they come out here. We're going to build a cute little drawer out of all of these pieces. It goes in here. On that drawer, you've got options. You could just do like a drawer pull, add, you know, whatever you would like to it. Okay, there's all these different pieces, and I've seen that some people put this little round piece on there and then use that as the handle. That's not what we're doing. In fact, we're not even using this, but in giving you this so you have a blank option, we are using this drawer with this, and I got these teeny tiny little handles that will be included in the kit. You don't have to have that. It can just go right there, and I think we'll do that. So I already know I'm gonna put that to the side. Okay, so this is part of our drawer. So I think I can turn it upside down, or at the top here without it falling. This is the bottom. Right? Yes. Yes, it is the bottom. Okay, this is our lid. And then their original was like this, and then I think with this in there, which is cute, nothing wrong with that. But what you're going to get is an extra little piece and a little ball knob, because that's what we're going to do. Okay, so let me turn it this way so you can see the difference between that and that. So that is really cute, but we're not doing that. So those pieces go off to the side. All right. This one is actually an extra layer on top. We are going to use that. It just gives a little extra dimension on there for us. I think we're using it anyhow. That's the plan. All right. Then let's just go down to the front here again. There's this little teapot, and it's in a little template so that you don't get paint on the sides, and it is supposed to be for right there. So you're getting that. We're not using it. So these are all extra pieces. You can do whatever you like with. Okay, I have all of these done, and I use my Watco Butcher Block Oil and Stain in Hazelnut. This is just a little bit darker because I cleaned off what I was stirring it with. So it does smell. It is an oil, but it's butcher block. It's so food safe. It takes, I put on really, really thin. It does take a little bit of time to dry, but you know what? I think we are good, and we are going to go ahead and glue this together. And we probably won't get back to it until tomorrow anyhow. So it will be just fine. Okay, so we need to put some glue. This is the back piece. We need to put some glue inside of these notches. I'm going to do one side at a time on top of these, because that is where this is going to sit. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so, and it's going to be wobbly until we get all these pieces. So we're going to go again here, turn it this way, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue here and here. And we are going to glue, or get this side on. This is what happens. But you know what? One more thing we need to do is we need to take our drawers, shelves, get them in. You don't need to glue them, but they need to go in. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more glue to this side again. Here is where I meant to go. Okay. And then just line those up. Sorry. Didn't realize I was out of the camera. It happens when I pull you in close sometimes. So, got that in there. Let's just get some of the excess glue that is seeping out. Dries clear, but I don't want big gobs of it. Okay. Alright, so that is where we're at so far. This is the front. So we need glue here. And we need to put it on these parts right here. Okay. Okay. So we're going to do the drawer as well. This should be good. If you needed to, you could wrap some like painter's tape around it, but I think it's going to be fine. Okay, so I'm just putting it off to the side there. Let's get our drawer built. Okay, so I think I've decided at least what the next step is going to be anyhow. So I did go ahead and give it a coat of Casement Infusion Mineral Paint, and we're going to do more to it, but I was a little undecided on what I wanted to do. I want to make sure I have all of these covered. Like, painting them is great, it does cover them up, but I don't want to see them at all, so I'm thinking about doing a texture on here. Not a thick texture, but I'm either going to use some plaster Paris mixed with the paint and put it on with like a putty knife, or I'm going to use some sea spray, or Saltwash, I mean, and mixed. So I'm not entirely sure on that step yet. So the other thing that I did was, I told you that this was the lid for this. So I went and glued all the pieces on and started painting it. This is not. It actually goes on the bottom so that it keeps your lid in place. So what I'm going to do is cut out another one of these and put it on the bottom, and then you can decide. I mean, this has the nice score lines, so you can decide if you want to try to, you know, line that up. It doesn't line up exactly, but it's close enough. So anyhow, I will include another one in the kit, so you'll have an extra piece so you can decide what to do, because I actually like this layered look. And then I'll paint these edges. So just wanted to let you know. And I did paint the drawer too, I just haven't got the edges done. So what we're going to do next is, this is the Brooches mold, right? Vintage Brooches mold from IOD. And we are going to, I'm going to cast all of them. When I'm pouring, I like to cast multiples at a time so that I just have them for a quick, and like, you know, I can grab them quick and use them. I think we're going to use this one for a little bow, and we're going to put it here. Originally, I was thinking I wanted to do this paint inlay on here, which would be really cute. But I really wanted to do something just a little bit different. I haven't done molds in a long time, so I think I'm going to end up doing a paint inlay on the mold itself, and I'm going to have to cut apart one of these, or I might just do it all with little bits and pieces of this. So I'm not entirely sure yet which one we're going to do. They would all be beautiful, and we can cut so many of them. I'm kind of leaning towards this one, and then I would just cut out around the leaves. So we'll see. But what I'm using is Alumilite. It's their white casting resin, and I usually get the oh my goodness, I just forgot what it's called. I usually get the one in the purple box, and it dries within 10 minutes. This one does too. Your work time is 2 minutes, and you have to demold it and you can demold within 10 minutes. It's the same one. It's just a little bit of a different packaging. I don't know, but anyhow, I've got it. IOD has their mils on here, mils and grams. So like, you know, if you only want to do one, this is going to take you 15 mils or 22 grams. So, but I have added it all up, and I have got myself equal parts here. So we are going to pour them in, and you want to make sure that you get it all out. So you can scrape that out if you'd like, and we're going to stir it. It's going to turn white, Just keep stirring, and you don't want to stir too much because, like I said, your work time is only 2 minutes. And I have actually had it start to cure on me while I've been pouring. So just want to stir. It kind of comes clear again. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. Let's get pouring here. You could do this with clay as well. And I have seen some people do this with a hot glue gun, and I haven't tried that yet. I might give it a whirl, but right now. Okay, so these are all set and they are still warm. But we are going to pull these out. Okay, oh, it's so stinking cute. Like, look at how adorable that is going to be on here. So we're going to glue that on. I'm not going to glue it on right now. I actually decided what we're going to do with this. I'm going to give it a coat of Fusion Mineral Paints Hazelwood. Then I'm going to mix up Casement with some Saltwash, and I'll come back and show you that. I'm not going to show you the base coating, but once I get this base coated, then I will glue this on before we do the Saltwash. That way we get all right up close to this and we don't have texture to glue that down on. So let me just pull these out for you so you can see how cute they all look. Like, love this one with the bow. These would make great magnets for the fridge. Oh, yeah, okay. I was wondering what was going on with that one, but that's okay. This one's really cute too. I'm going to do this one last. It looks like it needs a little extra help. Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. You know what I didn't? I wasn't paying attention when I was pouring that some of these pieces, so I overfilled it, but that's okay. If you want to mold it right at, like, quick enough, this stuff is still kind of pliable. If I could just get a hold of it. So you can take a little knife if you needed to, but my stylus is going to work perfect. I'm just popping those extra pieces out where I overfilled it. Okay, so I have done a coat of, what did I say I put on there? Hazelwood? Yes. So it's a nice neutral gray. I didn't worry if it was full coverage or not, doesn't matter. And I did glue the little topper on and glued all of this together, and I did do the back of the drawer, but it can just stay gray. Just because you see the edges of it when you pull the drawer out, and I hadn't stained it for whatever reason. If you get your paint in the engrave lines, all I do is take my knife and do that when it is wet paint. And I still haven't cut the bottom piece for this, but you just do that and then just glue it on in the center there. Okay, so I've glued this on. I did give this a coat of white paint, like Casement. I just find that doing that helps the other colors I'm going to put on here adhere a little bit better. This isn't 100% glued down yet, but it will be okay. I'm just going to be careful, and I'm just going to actually just start showing you what we're going to do here. So I've taken Fusion Mineral Paints Picket Fence only because I am just about out of my Casement, and I mixed it with a little bit of Saltwash. Now it's been sitting here for a second and it's thickened a little bit more than I want it to. I'm going to add a little bit of water. I don't want a ton of texture here, but I want enough texture that it's going to hide the, oh my goodness, the joints here. So I've got an older brush just in case I don't get this all out. Okay, and I am gonna just, yeah, it's gonna take a couple coats because you can put it on a little thicker in those joints. You could add more Saltwash to, you know, for a thicker coat to begin with, but I don't want to. And you're going to get a little bit on your mold here, and that's okay. Just don't put a ton on it. But I'm kind of stippling it in there so that we get some texture. I just don't want a ton of texture, but cover up all the gray parts around it. Okay, I've got this all dry, and all I did was put a little, like I just took sandpaper and just very, very lightly just sanded over it just to knock down those high edges. Now you could sand it down even more and it would reveal what is underneath. So you are more than welcome to do that. Like you can, well, you probably can't really see that. I didn't sand down that much, but it does start to give you a little bit more texture in there. So I'm trying to make decisions on exactly what I want to do. I did do a wash of some blue and then wiped it back, and that blue sunk all down into here. And then I took that same blue and painted my bow because I just wanted to see my direction. However, those colors aren't working because we are going to use this inlay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this inlay on, dry it, come back, and then we're going to make decisions on some colors. So this is obviously bigger than our surface, so I just put it on here. Put it where I wanted and took my fingernail and just made a groove all the way around. So I'm just going to quick cut that now. And all I did with the little piece here is painted it with the same color. Sorry, apparently I can't cut and talk at the same time. I want to make sure I'm making it nice and round. Save this. You can use those little bits and pieces for stuff. I painted this with Picket fence, so it's got a coat of color on there. And now you could use chalk paint and inlay this right into chalk paint. We're not inlaying this into our fusion mineral paint. I have done that before, but what I'm going to use instead is Dixie Belle's clear flat. I really like this method. So I want a small brush here. This one will do. All right, so let's get ourselves a nice coat on here. All the way around. It's okay if you go over it a little bit. Okay, we're gonna grab the water mister. I want to just give that a light spray. That was maybe more than a light spray. And let's line this up. Oh my goodness, it is going to be so pretty. Okay. Would have liked to have had it a little bit more that way. It's too late for me. Okay, and I already got a little bit of color running here because I probably made my inlay a little bit too wet. Okay, get that pressed down in there, good. And I'm not going to worry about this little bit that I can see running. This piece is going to look old when it's done. It's all good. So I just want to make sure that everything is pressed into there well. Yeah, so I can already tell, like that blue is just the wrong blue. And I kind of knew it was going to be the wrong blue, but I had to try it to see what we were going to do. So you can let this dry on its own, or you can take your heat gun to it and dry it that way as well. We'll be back once it is dry. Okay, so it's all dry. So you can kind of tell because it becomes a little bit more white, right? So before you could see the inlay really nice and clearly. And I dried it with my heat gun. I let it cool down, and now we are going to give it just a nice little spray, not too much. We don't want to encourage any more running. I'm going to take my baby wipe, or you can have a paper towel, and I'm just going to pick up the extra water and then just try to tap that water down in there to help it release. Let it sit for a couple seconds, and then we're going to lift it up. I don't know if I can get a corner, so I just grabbed my tweezers here. Oh, maybe I can. I can get a corner right here. Okay. Maybe. Slowly. Oh, look at it. It is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, set that little guy aside because you're going to be able to use that again. It's got a little distressing down here, but I'm okay with that. I had a little running here and a little running there. And you know what? It didn't go all the way to the edge. It actually doesn't even matter. It is beautiful. I love it. Okay, so now I'm going to let this dry. And then I'm going to either go outside and spray it with my Rust-Oleum clear spray, or my Krylon spray, whichever. Those are my two that I like to use. Or if you don't have a heavy hand, like don't put a lot of pressure on it, but use a lot of product, I have had success brushing it on. It has to be very dry. All right, and that is probably what I'm going to do. So I will come back when that is done. Okay, I decided that I should show you how to apply this. I know I've done it in other videos, but let's just go ahead and do it. So I just took my heat gun and I dried this, and you don't want to overwork it. Just swipe it on, move on. And you need product. I am getting a smidge of movement, but it is so very, very minimal that I am okay with that. Avoid the temptation to go back and overwork it. I'm going to dry it again, and then I'm going to go and give it another coat. Okay, let's give this another coat. There. Now she's good. All right. Okay, I started playing with colors and didn't stop painting. But that's okay because I'm just base coating here and making a little bit of a mess in some places. So I am using Uniform Blue Americana, like DecoArt. It is the perfect color to match this. I'm also going to be using Rub and Buff Gold Leaf. So what I have started to do is I've painted the bow. You do need a little small brush, and in some instances you need an even smaller brush to go back and get in those spots. You will have to back and forth a little bit, so I still have my picket fence sitting here. I've decided that I painted the 3 layers on the lid, and then I think the knob is going to be that gold. Okay guys, so I've made some decisions on what's going to happen here. So one, I got to paint the bottom of this white because of course you can see it, and I still haven't cut that piece and put on there, so I have to do that. I've got the top painted blue, and then this gold, and I touched up all of this, and there's still more that has to be done. And then I went and I put on the Rub and Buff onto the handle, and then rubbed it back with a paper towel, and then the light bulb went on. You know, sometimes you just have those crafting days where you're just not sure where a project's gonna go. Now I know where this is gonna go. I'm loving this, and it's staying that way, but we are going to use antiquing wax. The way that this handle looks and the color, it did look that nice and bright, but as soon as I started rubbing it back, it just instant charm, and I thought, nope, we need some aging wax on here. The other thing that I've done is I went and I just sanded the edges. I actually hit the top of this too, and I meant to, so that's okay. I sanded all the corners, and I did lightly sand the edges. The same with the drawer. And then I just very lightly hit the corners, and you can't really see it that well, but I think this is going to work out really, really well. I think it's coming together for me now. Okay, so the first thing we need is our clear wax, because we are going to clear wax everything. I just want a small amount of aging wax on here, like small. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and wax everything. I still want to do some detail on this bow, but I might actually put some white wax on there, and we're going to see. And I think once we've got some dark wax on this gold and we hit it with some white wax afterwards, everything is going to really start to pop. Okay, I don't want a ton. We're going to start small, because if we need to, we can wipe it back right away. I do want to get a smaller brush here. I do want to get like into like the edges here. You can already see, even just by rubbing over it with the white, how it starts to take it off. And the sea spray that we put on, like the texture that we put in there, Saltwash is what we use, really, really starts to shine now. Now, did you notice, because I waxed on top of wax, I took almost all that gold off around here? That's fine. We can go back on, we can put more of it on there, or we can leave it because it actually looks really good like this. So I took a little bit of the Rub and Buff off of the leaves too, but it just deepened them. Actually did what I wanted the white wax to do, so we don't need to do that. I've left it all in the bow. I'll give you some real good close-up photos when this is done. But you know what? I love it. This is the direction that we're going. So I'm going to finish all the sides, the top, and the drawer. And then I'll come back before I do any more details. Okay, this is looking so good, you guys. I'm so glad that I just about stopped this project at one point because I just couldn't make up my mind. But I'm really liking this. So, I will do the same thing to the little screws. I'll probably coat them in Rub and Buff. And it's just the little tiny guys, and they'll come in your kit. I'll coat them in Rub and Buff, rub them off, and then I'll attach this. Now the screws are going to be too long, of course. Like, I should probably paint the inside of the drawer. I'll do that when I finish the top. So I'm not sure if we'll just have to cut those off. That's probably what we're going to have to do. I'm going to ask my husband what the best thing we can do for that, or if we, well, I mean, I know it's getting glued on, but it's still going to, I'm just trying to open the package. Okay, so, yeah, they're still gonna come through, so I don't know if I need to include another little piece to put in here. It's white wax, and I just want to do this on my bow. I have a little chipping on there too. I was getting a little rough. So it'll be fine. If I decide I don't like it, I'll fix it. Okay, I'm gonna clean part of my, oh yes. All that just really, yeah, it just brought out the details. It's exactly what I was wanting. Now, I think what I want to do is I have a little bit of that Rub and Buff just sitting beside me. I'm using my finger, and I am just going to go, whoops, over that circle a little bit, just so that it look, and I'm going to hit the bow too in the high spots. I just went over that circle that little bit so that it looks like, you know, there's still some bits and pieces of it left on there. Yeah, I'm liking it. The other thing I wanted to do was bring a little bit of that gold down onto here. So I just like to have like a tiny bit on my finger. So you can still see some of those grooves. If I would have put another coat of my Saltwash on, you wouldn't see them, but I'm okay with it like that. So, okay, so I need to get this glued on, put the handles on, figure out what we're going to do. I'll come back and tell you my solution to those screws being too long. And I'm going to get this piece cut, and then I will paint the underside, and we will see what this looks like. So we'll see in a little bit. Okay, I've got it all put together. I cut another piece, glued it on, I painted it, and then I just waxed it the same as we did everything else. And I did this. I have attached this, and I was actually able to rub the Rub and Buff on those screws and wipe it back a smidge, and screwing them in, I didn't even have to touch anything up. So here's the solution. So remember at the beginning of the video when I was going through the pieces, I will include a second one of these in the kit, because just in case you want to use it on the front. Actually, I think if you use it on the front, you won't have to worry about these screws at all. But anyhow, I'm going to put a second piece in. It's always nice to have extras. You can see that the screws popped up a little bit. So I just stained one side of it, and I'm going to glue it in over the screws, and then it's perfect. No more, I don't have to do anything different. And look how beautiful it is. Now, your tea bags will fit in. My favorite tea comes like this, so my bags will fit in there. That was the main reason why I wanted to use the food safe butcher block in there. I mean, I'm sure it would have been fine no matter what, but that way I can keep those in there and it is all good. And then I honestly don't know what you're storing down here, but even if you don't do anything with it, it's just cute. So I will style this up and add some photos here at the end. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions, and thanks for joining me, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.